Good evening to one and all. IEEE SB MBCET, on the occasion of IEEE Day 2021, brings you Prep Talks, a journey to your desired career, comprising of a pack of fun-filled and beneficial talks to achieve your dream career. As a part of IEEE Day celebrations, IEEE Computer Society MBCET SB is organizing the first session of Prep Talks on building a winning resume. Today, we have Ms. Farha Kareem, CEO and co-founder of Meet Resume SDE at Amazon, GXCI Scholar, Google IBA winner. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the intro, Parvati. And thanks to everyone who joined today. So, I am Farha. I am currently working at Amazon as a software engineer. I also own the startup called Meet Resume. It's basically a place where anybody can come in and schedule one-on-one calls with software engineers or attend group sessions with one of our software engineering mentors. So, before we start, I just want to know where you guys are coming from, if you understand Malayalam, because this, I think most of you are Malayali. So is it okay if I switch to Malayalam? I just want to know if you're comfortable with Malayalam. Just let me know that also, and let me know which college you're from and which branch you are from. Yeah. So please put it in the chat box so I can just know. And I want this to be a very interactive session, okay? So you do feel free to unmute your mic and just stop me whenever you want to. So there is Hitesh. He says he only knows English. Okay, got it. Come on. I want everybody's responses in the chat box right now. Sure, Raghav. We can do it in English. Adinath is there. So everybody introduce yourself, okay? Which college you're coming from and which branch and everything. I would love to know. Sri Krishna College of Engineering and Technology. Okay. Harini. Okay. Adinath is there. Ashish is there. Ashish is studying mechanical at MBCT. Okay. Okay. Come on, everybody, introduce yourself. Otherwise, I'll start picking names. There is Jasna Woman Jose. What about you? Parvati. All of you introduce yourself. Anakha. Yes, Vaishna, I know she is, I'm pretty aware of her. She was a participant of Meet Resume. Karthik Shankar is from MBCT. Okay, so today we'd be talking about resumes, right? So how to make a good resume, like how it can be shortlisted in top tech companies, how to prepare your resume like that. So I just want to know which year you guys are from. Like if you are in your first year, second year, let me know that in the text box here. Because it depends, right? So if you're in your final year, you need a much better resume. If you're in your first year, you're just starting off. So it's totally fine, right? So it's like within year by year, you have to update your resume and make it more better, right? So there are people from third year, second year. Hi, Anak. Oh, Anak. Okay. So fourth year, just no. Anak and a junior ആണ് MEC-യിലത്തെ ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട് ഇവിടെ. So yeah, sorry, I just switched to Malayalam for a second. So let me just know which year you guys are studying in the comment section. So I just know where you guys are coming from, right? Final year, okay, Parvati. Civil, okay. Got it. So there are a lot of people from multiple areas. There are people from civil branches, mechanical, triple E, not just computer science. There are people from all these branches. So about resume building, before we start about like how to create a resume or anything, I just have one small announcement. At the end of the session, there is some surprise thing coming up. So just make sure to remind me about that thing at the end of the session, like unmute your mic if I forget, but I'm mostly gonna remember this. So there is something surprising coming out to all of you from Meet Resumes End, okay? So saying that said, let's move on. So let's talk about how the resume shortlisting process is done at these companies, right? So for that, I just want to know which kind of companies that you aspire to be in. So one can say maybe Amazon, maybe it's Google. Since there are people from other branches, let me know what kind of companies that you aspire to be in. Okay, Harini is saying Amazon. Harini is a second year student. Okay. Product-based companies. Apple. Wow. Come on, keep it coming. Google, Microsoft, Data. Okay. Amazon. One amongst the fan companies. Okay. So since I am coming from computer science background and since I'm working at Amazon, I can tell you how the resume shortlisting process is done at Amazon or any top tech company like Google or companies like that. So basically what happens is, once you submit your resume, most of us are from KTU and like not colleges, not NIT or IIT colleges, we usually go for off-campus placements, right? So what happens when you submit your resume for a particular job role at these companies? You just click in, you submit your information along with your resume, and it goes into a pool, right? There are so many applicants for that particular job role that you're applying to. And what happens there? Your resume would be ranked based on the keywords you put in. For the particular job role, there would be a job description, right? So they would be looking for candidates who are professionals at these particular languages. They're good at this. They have 2+ years of experience. According to all these data that is provided in the job description, your resume would be ranked. And this would be in the backend, right? So once a recruiter looks at the particular resumes that came for a particular job role, he or she would be like looking at the ranked list of resumes. So what would she do, or what would he do? He would basically look at the resumes that comes on the top, that is ranked according to the job description, whatever keywords are used. Accordingly, whichever resumes comes on the top, you'll be looking through that, right? So once he or she looks through that, this person is actually a non-tech person. So that you need to keep in mind. So how, just imagine this, like when you're creating your resume, it should be understandable by not just a technical person, but also a non-tech person, because your resume goes into the hands of a recruiter first, who is a non-tech person. So once your resume goes there, you'll be checking like, okay, good enough. The resume is like good enough. He has done like good enough projects. There is some impact. There is some numbers highlighted, like it's good enough. The resume is good enough, and this can be shortlisted and given to the hiring manager. The hiring manager is the technical person there, right? So what does the hiring manager do? Hiring manager looks through the resume and sees the technical side of the resume, right? So, okay, he has done this technology. He has worked on this technology for this particular project. Looks good. This is the kind of person that I want in my team. Someone who has created a very good project, which has a very, what do I say, like a valuable project on his resume, right? So the second process is basically done by a technical manager, who would be your hiring manager, right? So this is the entire process that happens. Once you submit your resume, it gets ranked, it goes to the recruiter passes it on to the hiring manager, and hiring manager is the person who's responsible for calling you for an interview, right? So usually what happens is like you basically would be thinking, I used to be thinking that once you put in your resume, like recruiters or somebody, maybe a resume shortlisting mechanism automatically shortlists the resume. No, these are done by human beings, right? So let me know if this was useful or if you have any doubts until now, like the whole process, how it doesn't make sense to all of you. Just let me know in the comment box. Then we can move ahead.
Ma'am, resume shortlist ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആൾക്കാർ തന്നെയാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, അപ്പൊ അത് ഈ കീവേഡ്സിന്റെ ബേസിസിലാണ്?
Not necessarily, right? I'm just speaking in English because there are people who are not comfortable with Malayalam. Okay, that's why I'm moving into English.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so basically, she was asking if these human beings, like the recruiter and the hiring manager, looks through a resume and shortlist is based on the keywords alone. Not necessarily. The keywords are basically just to shortlist your resume, not shortlist, rank your resume as the first process. The hiring manager and recruiter are real human beings who can understand the content of your resume, right? So that's why people say highlight main points so it catches the eye of the recruiter. I remember like talking to this recruiter at Amazon. He is working at US office, okay? So I just asked her, like we had this particular chat session in Clubhouse, and I just asked her, like, is it true that the recruiters look at your resume for less than 10 seconds? And she just started laughing and she was like, less than that. So that's the time you get from a recruiter on your resume, right? So it's less than 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. So it's about catching the eye of the recruiter with however you can make your resume. Maybe like it's about the numbers, it's about the numbers, it's everything, right? How appealing you can make your resume, right? And these are not just based on the keywords, it's about the content of your resume, how much you would be apt for this particular role. Because these recruiters have been working at Amazon maybe for like past many years. The hiring manager is like a senior manager as Amazon. Mostly these people have 10 to 15 years of experience, right? So these are the people who are judging your resume. So it's not just based on the keywords, but the whole content of your resume. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. So feel free to ask any other question. I want this to be a very interactive session for all of you. So please feel free to unmute your mics or maybe put it in the comment section. Just let me know. Okay. So this is the entire process. Now, basically, we would move on to, I think we can move on, right? So we can, right? Just let me know in the comment section. Perfect. Okay. So moving on, we will be talking about the formatting of the resume. So what should you add on your resume? I've just noted down the points so that I don't forget, right? So since most of you are freshers, I'm expecting nobody is a senior person here working. So I'm not the right person to guide there. So I'm expecting all of you are college graduates or college students who are applying to companies, right? So on your resume, the first thing should be your academics, because all of you are freshers, right? That's the first thing that you should put on your resume, which would be your college, the particular degree that you've taken, your CGPA, if it's a good number, right? Only put your CGPA if it's a good number. Otherwise, you can ignore it. It's totally fine. Under academics itself, you can put in your school, percentage of marks, which school, all of that. 10th and 12th, basically that's the pattern I followed. So CGPA along with that, and your percentage along with that. That's the first section. The second section would be areas of expertise, right? That would be maybe if you are proficient in particular coding language, you can put it there. Operating system, you can put it there. All of this. Don't keep a lot of space for this. This would be just a very tiny portion, right? Don't put in a lot of keywords over there. It's not good, because areas of expertise doesn't say anything about you. It's just the particular variable. With Python, nobody knows if you're good at Python just by seeing the Python under areas of expertise. Build a project with Python and they know that you're good at Python, right? So if you could showcase something like that, that's more valuable than putting under just simply under areas of expertise. You can do this, but keep it very short. The next thing would be projects. Under projects, you can mention the name of the project, the team size, the duration, and in bullet points, just keep a note with you, okay? Just write this down. Like, let me know if you want me to repeat this, because this is like very important. And did I just say it too fast? So let me know. Do you want some time to like take a note and just write it down? Let me know. Or is it all good? I can continue. Sure, I can repeat the project part. So basically under projects, you have to mention the name of the project, the team size, and the duration. This would be like the title. This is something that I've used personally. That's what I'm saying. And under project, you have to put in bullet points. In the bullet point, you can say what the project generally is, like what it does. The second bullet point would be your role in the project, right? And don't write it down in 2 to 3 lines. No, just a single line. How much ever short you can make it, well and good. The third bullet point would be the technical side, right? Whatever you have used, maybe Python, Django, whatever, right? So these are the basic 3 key points that you need to mention under the project section. I hope that made sense. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So that's about projects. Now coming down to positions of responsibility and why this is very important. You know, at Amazon, there are a set of leadership principles, right? So they look for people who can take positions of responsibility, who are good leaders, you know, and if you can showcase something from your background, maybe like your school or your college, where you have been in a leadership position, very good. Because they look at people who have leadership skills. And if you can show that within your resume, pretty good, right? So it could be leading a club in college, maybe you were the vice chairperson of your school or something of that sort, head girl, head boy, whatever. Very good. Mention that. So there are multiple clubs in colleges, I'm pretty aware. So try to like do it because you're interested. Just don't do it for the sake of doing it. Just get into the club which you find more interesting and try to own a leadership position there and guide a few students. If nothing works out, you can at least try mentoring people, right? You can be a mentor. That's a good point, right? Mentor people, that's like a leadership position. So anything is possible. Think and like make that section clear enough. So positions of responsibility is really good, and it's good if you mention it also. The next thing is internship experience. Don't mention work experience, because if it's a fresher role, and if you're mentioning work experience, some recruiters would just look at the work experience section like, okay, this person has past work experience, let's not select them because it's a fresher role. But you would be mentioning your internship experience there. So instead of putting it as work experience, write it down as internship experience, right? So because freshers role, they do not want people with experience. They just want freshers. I hope that made sense. And coming to internship experience also, you can mention the company name, what the company does generally, and what your role was, what you managed to work on during the limited time period for this particular internship. And yeah, so basically all of this comes under internship experience. The next thing would be achievements, maybe winning a hackathon, winning a prize for a particular competition, or getting shortlisted for a particular event that is most valuable, like maybe All India, some event you got shortlisted. Maybe Google, some event you got shortlisted and you were one amongst the top people to be shortlisted for that particular event. Well and good. That comes under achievements, right? Under extracurricular activities, you can mention any events you participated in, any hackathons you participated in. It's okay if you don't win a prize, but it's good if you could write it down, right? So that's one thing. There are people who also say, like, it's not good to mention hackathons where you have not won a prize. But I have mentioned hackathons, like a good hackathon, right? Angel Hack, such kind of hackathons where I had participated and I didn't win a prize. That's totally fine. You can mention. The next, the last but not least, the references part, where you would mention your college administrator, HOD, or a senior staff, principal, the email ID, the name, and contact information, basically that. So if in case they want to reach out, you have to mention some references portion. So it's not really necessary they do not reach out to people, but it's good to like add references part. This was basically my resume. So I hope these are basically the contents of the resume. I hope this was good enough. Like, let me know if you have any doubts until now. I'm just gonna stop here for a bit. So all of you can just poll in any questions or anything that you have doubts with.
Okay, like I have a doubt. Is there an order in which we need to like write this down, or like since you're fresher, like should we like keep internship experience at the top or skills at the top? Is there some order for it?
So for freshers, it's best to keep your academics at the top, right? So they know you're a fresher. That's like something that has been followed since a long while at these companies. Like, it's the best to keep your education at the top if you're a fresher. And for the rest of the things, any order works fine. But this is like generally the order that I've seen people follow. That's why I just mentioned all of these orders. But best to keep your work experience at the top. And also there is one thing. There are people who write objective on your resume. Please don't do that. For freshers, it's not advised at all to mention the objective. Don't do that. I hope I answered your question.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, Harini.
Can we add hobbies in the resume?
I've seen people add hobbies for CVs, not resumes. Resumes, it's best to keep it like short and to the mark, right? That's the best thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah. The photo, right? It's not necessary. I don't have a picture on my resume. If you want, you can add it. I've seen people who add it, but likewise, it's not very necessary.
Ma'am, can resumes exceed 1 page?
It can. My resume is 2-page. So generally people say keep 1-page resume, but there is this particular thing called Google's X by Y by Z formula. And over there, Google itself has mentioned it's okay to keep 2-page resumes for technical people, right? They have a lot of projects, technical projects. So it's totally okay to go for 2 pages. One thing that you have to keep in mind while you are exceeding 1 page is, I think somebody raised their hands. Yeah, so one thing that you have to keep in mind while exceeding 2 pages, like 1 page, is that fill both the pages. Don't keep it half empty, right? So that's not advised. So if you're moving to the second page, make it like 3/4 or better than that, right? So like fill in the space. Blank spaces are not good in a resume. That's why. Was that helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Under roles and responsibilities, like whatever positions, whatever you have like held in a college or something, like is it necessary that you write a point like what you have contributed in that organization or club, or should we just leave it like just like chair IEEE? That's it, or should we write like what I contributed in that?
So I'll tell you from my experience. So I was the Force MEC lead or something. So I mentioned that a general secretary for Force MEC, and under the particular extracurricular activities, I would mention like I held this particular session for these many students, mentored these many students, all of this under extracurricular activities. That's what I did. Otherwise, you can, it's no worries, you can actually add it in under positions of responsibility itself. So one thing that you have to keep in mind, like if you add under one, it's best to add under all, right? So if you have multiple positions of responsibility, add under all. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Hi, Farha. Okay, so while applying for internships, also can we keep the same resume? Should we rearrange or add something else to that?
Internship.
Internships.
Yeah, totally fine. You can keep the same resume. The thing is, basically the same thing. Academics, I use the same resume. It's totally fine to keep this.
Oh, okay. So, since while applying for internships, we'll be in our third year, and probably we won't be having any experiences as such. So, those parts will be black, right? So, do you think it is
So
a
you're talking
drawback?
about the internship experience, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have any prior internship experience before third year, don't keep it at all. Like, leave it, the internship experience column. Don't add it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? The drafts, you mean like resume templates by MS Word and other software, right? So my first resume, I made it on like Google, I think Google Docs resume template or something. That was during my first year, right? I do not generally like that, right? So I don't prefer that by myself. But if you think that resume template like fits perfectly for you, go ahead. It's what works for you best, right? So if you think it works for you, all good. There is also another thing that I've heard, like I think most of the templates over there would be like 2-column resumes, right? That's not generally preferred because like once this resume shortlisting mechanism occurs where your resume would be ranked, there are some places they wouldn't read the right side, right column, right? So that to avoid such situations, it's best to keep a single column resume. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, I'll just speak generally, like what are the other things that you need to take care while building the resume. Welcome, Ashish. Okay, so regarding formatting, or like regarding how you apply and how you send in your resume, always put it in a PDF format because people don't open docs. Just a second. People don't open docs, right? It takes it takes maybe like 2 minutes to open a doc. It's tiring. That's what I've heard from recruiters. People generally open PDF. So go with PDF. The next thing I've already said, skip the objective for freshers. Don't add objective. The next thing is black text, simple font. Use a simple font, use black text. Don't make it like very decorative or anything. Make it as simple as possible so people can read properly. Like, so that's more formal also. So do that. Use bullet points and make key points bold, right? And also if you're applying, okay, there are multiple job positions that you can apply to. So if you're applying to a particular job position, make it tailored for the particular job position. So read the job description, see if if your resume is tailor-made for that particular job description. Make changes, right? So I definitely like when I'm applying to product manager roles versus like software engineering roles, I make changes to my resume. For product manager roles, I show more of my business side. Like if my work at Meet resume, what I do, all of that I would put on my product manager kind of role if I'm applying to. If it's a software engineering role, I keep it more software oriented, right? More technical oriented. So make sure your resumes are tailor-made for each role that you're applying to. And please read the job description. You would get a sense of what the people are looking for, right, in a candidate while you read the job description. So yeah, it's like I said, it's totally okay to go with 2 pages, totally fine. And if you're putting it as a bullet point, don't elongate it too much. It's best to put it like single liner, or maximum you can go to the second line. Don't write 3-liner bullet points. Nobody is going to read that. Okay. Then coming to the X by Y by Z formula by Google. This is like one of the formulas for resumes that the Google accepts, right? So whenever you write something like maybe projects or maybe internship experience, so wherever you write this, always write it as like accomplished X by as a measured by Y by doing Z. This is the particular formula that Google states, right? So I'll give you an example. So it's about focusing on accomplishments, quantitative results. Basically, when people look through your resume and see the projects under projects, if they could find something quantitative, that is numbers, right? Highlight the numbers. Very important. So also highlight the impact you had, right? So for me, when I talk about one of my projects, that was GHCI chatbot app. This chatbot app was used by all the people who attended GHCI, right? Almost all the people who attended the GHCI. So once you create such kind of projects which has an impact, that's really good, right? Also, it's not necessary that it needs to have that kind of impact also. So if you could, if you were working at an internship and if you could like build a project, then kind of reduce the time that they generally spend, like maybe improved the efficiency of a particular mechanism, like by building this particular project, you can mention that. That's good enough. So if you're working at a startup where they particularly followed this particular strategy to solve this particular problem, and if you could automate that, that particular process, if you could automate that, this is just an example, okay? That saves a lot of time for the startup, right? So you can mention such things on your resume rather than just simply writing automated it. Don't just mention that. It saved the time, like it was particularly used by this company on a day-to-day basis, so it saved time on a day-to-day basis. Well and good. Mention stuff like that. So this is one of the things that you can, like, I'm just giving another example that I've written it down. So you can write, selected as one of the 275 participants nationwide for this 12-month professional development program for high achieving diverse, something like that. Okay, so basically it shows 275 participants nation. It's a nationwide program, so there are multiple people. They know the scale of the program. It's a nationwide program. You are one amongst the 275 participants, right? So that showcases that you are amongst the 275 people, right, who got shortlisted for this particular event. Much better. So it's like, how do I explain this? There are so many candidates who apply to a role, right? So if you could change this particular name, maybe this name is Farha, and if you could replace it with Karishma or some other name like that, if the resume looks the same, it doesn't make a difference, right? So it's about you as a person, how much more you can showcase yourself. If you could, how much more value you can add to yourself, It's about showcasing you as an individual who's much better than all the others. It's like a competitive world. So it's basically showcasing yourself as an individual and adding more features to you so that you are projected from the total entire set of people who apply, right? So add more things like this, which actually puts you out from the line, right? So do that. And like I said, the numbers actually helps you do that. So if you see this 275 participants for a nationwide program, well and good, right? Instead of simply writing it as a participated for a 12-month professional development program, not good. If you could add in more numbers, well and good. Another example would be 1 second place for a hackathon. That doesn't say anything about it, right? So if you could mention 1 second place out of the 50 people or something, which is like a nationwide program or something like that, that gives more sense to it, right? So yeah, that. Another thing is add links to everything. Like if you could add links to your GitHub profile, your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter profile, this adds more visibility, right, to all your work. So do that. And even if you add projects, if you could add the GitHub link of that particular project, great. They can particularly look at the particular GitHub link and see the work that you have done, right? So it's good. So always do such things. I think, yeah, that's it. So let me know if you have any other questions right now at this moment. I hope I made sense, like when I was explaining all of this. And whenever you add links, right, so make it clickable. It's best to make it clickable and change the font and color also, right? So if it's a clickable link, add a different color so that people actually know it's a clickable link, usually blue. It's a color that's generally preferred, add that. So they know this is clickable. And add email ID, add phone number, all of this on your resume. Contact coordinates are a must on your resume. So let me know if you have any doubts right now. Was all of this clear? Should I repeat any point? Let me know that also.
Ma'am, resume numbers, facts highlight project numbers highlight.
For example, if you build a project that was used by multiple people, if you could improve the efficiency, if it's an ML project, efficiency no points improve. That's one thing that you can mention, right? So if you could mention the numbers, like for example, a process on a particular company follows if you automate that, our time save you can mention the amount of time you could save for the particular process. When I build this, our process was shortened by this many minutes, right? Much valuable. So, if you could highlight such things. So, in the project, I have mentioned like GHCI chatbot app was used by these many people for this particular event. That's the stats that I have mentioned. So that adds credibility, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this project impact
impact if people have used it, if people have generally used that project, well and good. It's fine. I've seen people who add projects with valuable technical side to it, good, right? So it's, if you have numbers, well and good. Otherwise, also it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Should we also add project links, and should it be GitHub links or Drive links? So like I said, adding project links, very good. Do that so that it adds visibility to the project that you've done. GitHub links, really good. Drive links are also fine. Can we use the same resume for off-campus and on-campus placement? Like I said earlier, read the job description and make your resume tailored for each role that you're applying to. Very important. I hope I answered your question, Ashwin and Raghav. Can you give some examples of keywords? So keywords are okay. Where do you get keywords from? Basically, you read the job description and see for this particular job role, preferred candidates with proficiency in C++C. So you know the particular job is looking for candidates who are good at these skills, right? So basically, you get the keywords from the job description itself. Ma'am, mechanical engineers don't have a lot of software-based projects. Our projects are generally more physical. In such cases, do we just mention these projects? Ashish is asking this. So yeah, you can basically mention the projects. If it's like a physical project, definitely, because ours is like software projects and we are supposed to showcase it like that. If yours is physical project, your industry requires that, right? So do mention it like that. Okay, Adinath is asking, can we add the certification that we have got from doing online courses or specific topics? Yeah, you can add. Like, I haven't added it personally. So if it's like a good course, you can add it. It's fine to add. So like I said earlier, like it's more like adding, instead of adding these certifications, like if you could show some projects that you have made with this particular with the help of this particular course that you have taken, that'd be much more better, right? So that's one thing. Should we use table for the, I think you're talking about the education part, right? So you can use tables. I've used tables. It looks more neat, right, if you use tables. Otherwise, also I've seen other people add these without tables. Fine. Whatever works for you again. So coming to what basically Meet Resume does, Meet Resume is a place where anybody can come in and schedule a one-on-one call with a software engineering mentor, right? So it's about like, there are so many people from non-IIT or NIT based, like people like us, right? So basically we do not have much seniors or anybody that we can connect to directly. So this is like a platform where you can basically come in and schedule a one-on-one call with one of the engineers. Basically, it's like a chit chat session. You can basically schedule a resume review or opportunity hack and like submit your resume and just get the other person to review it over a one-on-one call basis, right? So that's basically the concept of Meet Resume is like, I am pretty sure you came across Meet Resume's link while you registered for this particular event also. Raghav, okay, Raghav is, oh, okay, yeah, I remember Raghav. Okay, he's saying like he scheduled an opportunity hack session. I'm so happy to hear that, Raghav, that it was helpful. So basically, opportunity hack is like a place where you can schedule a one-on-one call with this particular mentor and ask him or her how he or she cracked this particular opportunity. Maybe it's like a Google internship, maybe it's a software engineering role at Amazon or Microsoft or any place like that, right? According to the mentors, we have people who cracked GHCI scholarship or anything, Google Summer of Code, all of those. We have mentors from a wide variety of areas in the software field itself. So I'm pretty sorry for the other people who are not from the software field. We do not have mentors there, but it's just for software people who are interested and wants to like reach out to people at very ease. So basically you have to just click on a particular date, particular type of call under the mentor and schedule it. That's simple. And you would get the link via email. You can just join it, that's all. My experience about resume and interview. So basically, I just tell you a short story about why I started creating my resume and why I did that. So this was during my first year in college, okay? So it's basically a chill time where all of us just simply come to college, study course and just go back. And that's when I got to know, like maybe like during my second year actually, I got to know one of my seniors from my college got placed in Microsoft. I was like, what? Is this possible? Like we see people getting placed at Yahoo and all at college, but Microsoft is like, oh, okay, somebody got placed in Microsoft and it's like 30 LPA. Oh my God, is this even possible? I was like super surprised. And what did I do? I just basically reached out to her and asked her like, oh, how did you get through this opportunity? How was this entire process? And she told me there's this GHCA scholarship that was running. And I was like, okay, what is GHCA? I don't know anything about GHCA. And GHCA is some scholarship that is like available for women during the final year, right? And they get to attend this career fair. And that's when she got placed in Microsoft. She attended an interview for that particular date and she got placed at Microsoft. I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna like start preparing for GHCI or any other scholarships like that, right? And once you're applying to these scholarships, you need to put in your resume, right? After what happened, I just looked through. I didn't have anything to mention on my resume. It was like pretty empty, right? So what did I do? I reached out to people and I checked on internet the resumes, like LinkedIn. Even if you just go to LinkedIn, you can see resumes of a lot of people. So just look through the resume and you'll be like, okay, very nice. I don't have anything at all in my resume. I have to do something. I need to like be better in where I am. And if I want to like achieve my goals, I need to put in a proper resume. And that's when I started attending events, tech events, being part of clubs and everything. So I have a good profile, right? So that kind of thing actually motivated me. Like seeing someone in the same from the same college, that too from a different branch, EC branch, getting into Microsoft was like, wow. That's when I got to know like we should do something. And that's when I started building my resume. It's best to start building your resume as early as possible, right? So I started building my resume in second year. That's why I had a proper resume by fourth year. Otherwise, if I started resume building like in my fourth year, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have a proper resume because whatever I did during the college days, I wouldn't even remember, right? So start building your resume as soon as possible. I think I just told you this kind of story, so I hope it wasn't boring. I just told you my story of how I started building my resume. Yeah. So about interviews, so this is like kind of funny. I attended my first interview for my internship, right? Internship placements. We have companies coming to our college. I got placed in my first interview itself, right? So I don't know, that was my luck. I wasn't prepared or anything. I just attended the interview. I got placed. So when it comes to the final, like when I was in my final year, I was like, okay, this is kind of pretty easy. You know, I can just go in and attend an interview. I would get placed. Pretty simple. And then starts the story. Companies after companies. I start for one company, next company, getting rejected back to back. It's like, okay, something is missing here. I need to prepare. I can't be this super confident with my skills. I need to start preparing. So then I started analyzing myself, what is going wrong in each of these interviews. And then I kind of understood, okay, this is going wrong. So I need to improve there. I need to improve my coding skills, right? So it's totally okay to get rejected. It's actually best to get rejected at earlier. So there are companies like Oracle, where I went until the final round, even the HR round, and I got rejected, right? I was super depressed like for one day. But it's okay. I picked myself up from there and then attended another interview. And that was like Amazon interviews. And I got placed. So it's okay to get rejected. No problem at all. Don't lose hope. Keep moving forward. That's the thing. What's the name of the scholarship? Yes, it's GHCI scholarship. There is also GHCI is Grace Hoppers Conference in India. There is GHC also, which is an international scholarship. Name of scholarship for Microsoft? Yes, GHCI. It's women. It's for women in tech. Yeah, that's my story of interviews and resumes. Let me know if you have any other questions. I hope I didn't bore you with my story.
Ma'am, our scholarship prepare
GHCI, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, there was this particular organization called Rethink Foundation. So Rethink used to like guide students on applying to multiple opportunities like scholarships. So Rethink was very active during my college days. So Arya Murli was the opportunity lead at Rethink. So I connected with her and they had basically a wiki page. I don't think it's active right now. So I connected with a lot of people who got GHCI, right? So GHCI scholarship is basically given to students in their final year. And I got a chance to get this scholarship in my third year. It's like, you need to be very lucky to get that scholarship in your third year because you know what you're signing up for in your final year, right? So I got this chance because I participated in this Rethink's WIT learning program and I got this particular scholarship in my third year with other final year students. It was like a total learning experience for me. I could attend this event, connect with a lot of people there. It's like, it's for another day. So I'm just not going there. So yeah, basically that's how I prepared for GHCI. Tushar, this is like Asia's largest women in tech conference. It happens every year at Bangalore. Now it's all online. You can just search for GHCA and you would get information about this scholarship. Sure. So yeah, it's kind of at the end of the session. It's almost 5. So remember, I told you something that I would be giving from the Meet Resume side. So it's basically for all the attendees here today, we're giving a discount coupon. It's not for everybody, but it's for the top 5 students who register ASAP. It's on a first come first serve basis. We are giving this, right? So the particular, what you have to do is basically once you are like, if you go to this particular link, meetresume.com/mentors, which I'm pasting it over here, you would get to see a lot of mentors over here, right? We have around 30 mentors or so. So these are people from multiple backgrounds, maybe people from Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, Amazon, people from all of these companies, right? So if you just go through and you could, like, if you click on a particular mentor's profile and if you click on book a meeting, you would see a particular section where you can see, I'll help you with this particular resume review, opportunity hacks, speed networking, alien calls like that, right? So once you click on a particular call, you have to schedule a meeting and you have to pay for the meeting, right? So we are giving a discount of 20% off for the top 20 people. Yeah, sure, Hitesh, please just send me your resume. Okay, so top 20 people who's gonna apply through this, right? Sorry, top 5 people. Okay, so basically this is the particular coupon code that you can use, MBCET 100. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Just send me a text on Instagram. Okay, Hitesh, it's at Farha Kareem Blogs. I'm not going to share my email ID here. So due to personal reasons, actually. So you can just send me a text on Instagram there. So basically, if you go to /mentors page, you can basically see a set of mentors there. And you can basically schedule a one-on-one call with them and get all kind of calls, right? Resume review is there, opportunity hack is there, all of this. So once you click on a particular call, if you click on a schedule a call, you can see there is this particular option where you can see coupon code, right? And if you add this MBCET 100 in that particular coupon code, you would get a discount. So basically it's that. Any doubts you have for about Meet Resume, you can ask me right now. This is basically the surprise I had at the end. It's just for 5 people. Any top 5 people who register for the call get this discount. Yeah. I think we are at the end, so we can wind up the call, right?
Ma'am, so can I conclude the session?
Sure.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. We were able to clear all our doubts regarding creating a good resume. We are so grateful that you took your valuable time for sharing this useful session with us. Thank you so much for all the good tips you have given us in the session. Once again, thanking you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for hosting this, and thank you so much to everybody who attended the session. Thank you.